Okay, everyone, isn't it always kind of a boost to your mental enthusiasm for your build whenever you get parts in the mail, especially when they come in early? Anyway, I wanted to do a little unboxing on my latest acquisition from Speedway. Here's what I'm looking at. I ordered my engine mounts and some front end pieces. Hopefully they're all in this one box. Hey, they finally gave me a sticker that I won't use. A lot of people complain that they don't get stickers from vendors. I always just laugh because I don't put stickers on my vehicles. So here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to lower the engine in the S10 Blazer LS Swap. Because the engine sets higher than, say, I needed it to, the rear of the transmission can't be elevated far enough to properly set my driveline angles, because the back or the back side of the bell housing on the transmission and the case hits the floorboard of the car before I can get enough angle on my output shaft to set my pinion angle. So originally what I was looking at was having to pull the engine completely out, then sawzalling or cutting off the stands. I've talked about this in previous videos, but you may not have seen those videos. So my vehicle originally came with a 2.8 liter V6. Well, unbeknownst to me, that can be problematic. Make the engine sit kind of high in the engine bay, higher than, you know, like I said, that I really needed it to be. But, you know, no one really felt like it was going to be a big deal until we started trying to set my pinion angle on my transmission. Here's what we're looking at. I decided to do some research. Huge nightmare. I'm going to start out by telling you right now, it was way harder than you would expect to try to figure this out, to lower the engine, okay? In my feeble mind, I kept thinking, there's got to be a way to buy shorter engine mounts. Like, there's got to be a way that I can lower that engine a little bit and not have to completely remove the engine out of the vehicle, do the, you know, cutting off those stands, welding on, you know, there's a lot involved with trying to redo the engine mount. Long story short, you can't do that short, what they call short wide motor mount. You can't use it on the factory 74 and newer V8 mounts to the frame. Here's the deal. This is an energy suspension short wide mount. So what this is a 1 3/4 reach. So from where this will mount flush to your block or to your, in my case, the LS adapter plate, from that mounting surface to the center of your motor mount hole is 1 3/4. Okay, you might be asking, okay, what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, I have short GM clamshell mounts that bolt to the engine. Well, they are 2 3/8 of an inch from the flat mounting surface to the bolt hole. So basically what I would be looking at is lowering the engine at least 5/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, by being able to run this short wide mount. Problem is, no one, not Moroso, no one I can find, no one Speedway knew of, no one made a frame mount that would work with the short wide universal mount from Energy Suspension or anybody else. So here's what I'm proposing, okay? I ordered 4-bolt solid frame mount listed as 74 to 81 Camaro, which gives you the 4-bolt V8 pattern to bolt to my adapters. Here's the problem. Can you guys see that? This pole doesn't line up with this one, okay? I'm just gonna take a cutoff wheel, take off the tops of these tabs so that this thing can run a bolt through it. So now, what will we accomplish by doing that? Well, we're gonna lower the engine 5/8 of an inch or slightly more. We're also going to have a more stable platform. If I run basically a poly mount on my engine and a solid mount on my frame, am I in danger of hurting anything? Everyone said no, that it's less rigid as running a full solid mount on the frame and on the engine side, but everyone agreed that I should for sure run a rubber or poly transmission mount so that there's a little bit of forgiveness in my mounting system to avoid breaking the transmission case. Okay, next up in the box of goodies, and I will admit this was an impulse purchase basically based on my addiction to using these as helper tools during projects to try to organize fasteners. It was on sale for $7.99. Had their logo imprinted or stamped into it, and I couldn't help myself. I absolutely use the you-know-what out of magnetic trays for disassembly and bolts and all that junk. I had to have it. It was an impulse purchase. It was on sale, and I just went with it. It's a weakness of mine. I'm addicted to stupid magnetic trays. So let's get the next thing out of the box and see what we can find. Okay, so I dug those out of the box, and they didn't really want to come out, but they didn't have a choice. So this is something that I have put off for a really long time. Many of you probably don't know, my S10 Blazer was lowered by cutting a coil off of the coil springs, which was absolutely not recommended by anyone ever. It creates a harsh, super harsh ride because you basically have no clearance between your lower control arm and your frame when you make that move. I want to maintain the ride height that was created on my S10 Blazer by removing that coil on the coil spring, but I'd really like to have some front suspension so that every time I hit a bump in the road, it doesn't allow the A-arm to hammer into the frame. Previously purchased 2-inch drop spindles. I went online, and through following the advice of a friend, he said, go to Speedway Motors, order their metric chassis, 8.5-inch, which is the longer of the two, upper tubular control arms, and you can correct your geometry. It's going to be easier to align the vehicle with the drop spindles by using two of these 8.5-inch metric tubular A-arms. And I was like, okay. And they just happened to be, I think they were on sale. They were like $47.99 each or something. It was really cheap, I thought, for what you get. These bolt to your existing mounts and everything, shims, it's all compatible with your factory setup. Just in case you were wondering, these are listed in the catalog as right and left. So what we went with was the left-hand side. Part number is going to be 910-34393L for left. But what the thing is, these are universal as far as you can run them this way, or you can flip them over and run them this way. Okay? So this same part number, even though it says left on it, you can use on the right side or the left side of the vehicle, depending on, you know, which side you're working on. But the longer reach is going to work with the S10 chassis and the 2-inch lowering spindles to make it easier to align it and yada yada yada. There is some, I would have to think this weighs significantly less than a factory upper control arm. I'll have to weigh that out whenever I get in the middle of doing that upgrade, because part of that upgrade I'm going to have to order brand new uncut springs, which I'm still undecided, because if you follow the online forums, they all say to just order factory S10 springs, run the 2-inch drop spindles with the appropriate length front shocks, and that should recreate the ride height I have now, but actually restore suspension travel and ride comfort. So hopefully they're all correct. So I'll probably go, even though I have brand new Moog ball joints on my Blazer now, just for the sake of speeding up the process, I'll probably go ahead, buy 2 brand new Moog ball joints, get them already mounted in here, order the springs, get, you know, brand new springs, and do all this spindle slash A-arm upgrade all at one time to get the thing back on the road and rolling down the highway. So let's move on to the nitty gritty of some transmission upgrades that I was waiting on. Let me get this big old honking thing out of the way here. Basically, I returned that B&M Shift Improver kit, and are now looking at the B&M Transpak, because this is the kit you have to run to manually control first gear. So I mean, you know, I'm basically putting all my eggs in the B&M basket, so to speak, because I'm going to put the B&M Transpak in with the Street Strip shift kit. Did read in the instructions that this does not come with a filter, so I had already previously gone to the local Advanced Auto Parts and picked up a brand new Turbo 400 filter. I think it's going to be straightforward as far as installation. I read through the, oh look, another sticker I won't use. That's cool. I read through the instructions last night, and there's only one small part of installing this that I think is going to be a little sketchy. So, and then of course, if it's, the instructions read really weird. This 1-2 shift valve assembly, it says something about, if your valve is the same as this one, then modify your original one. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of dumb. Because if this one is the same size and it's already pre-modified on the end, I'm not real sure why I would have to grind on my factory one. But I've tried to look at videos on YouTube and tried to do some research online to figure out, you know, what that's all about. And so far, I haven't really come to a real clear understanding of why they give you that shift valve and then tell you, if it's the same size, just use yours. Yeah, that's weird. So, that is my parts haul. The weather is cooperating at this particular moment. So hopefully, we're going to make some good headway on getting the transmission finalized and ready for the install. We'll be able to get the engine lowered down, and I'm currently in the process of creating a video where I'm pulling the heads and top end off of the vehicle and trying to get ready to do a cam swap in the car. Sorry, S10. So anyway, there's my parts haul. Came in a day early, and I'm happy to have it. Hopefully be able to get some more work done, because again, project needs to be on the road and tested prior to my birthday on April 27th. So appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this is kind of interesting as far as my plan or my strategy to try to fix my engine setting a little high in the engine bay. And if not, I guess I'll be pulling the motor out at some point and doing some welding, which I don't own a welder. So thanks for watching, guys.